I'm Casey with C2 Rides, and this is the 2024 KTM 1290 Super Duke GT. Let me just start off by saying how freaking much power this motorcycle makes. I don't think people really understand that when you have a twin cylinder motorcycle like this is the KTM LC8 engine putting out almost 180 horsepower. I believe it's 175 horsepower and over 100 foot-pounds of torque. This thing in the Super Duke model is absolutely bonkers fast. And what they did basically is they said, hey, let's turn this motorcycle into a touring edition instead. And I am loving it. I am here for it. I have never ridden this motorcycle, just got it from RiderMarket Daytona Beach. They are a Triumph, BMW, Aprilia, Vespa dealership here in Daytona Beach, Florida. Absolutely awesome dealership. And they lent me this motorcycle to be able to take it out and see what it can do. And right out of the gate, first impressions, I'm 6'3", 229 pounds, 230 if I ate my dinner, and this motorcycle is so smooth. I love it. It's definitely sporty. This suspension system is a WP semi-active suspension, and it is making adjustments every millisecond based on the riding style, based on the roads that I'm on, and so it is really cool that it's able to adapt. Now, this motorcycle is loaded with technology, and when I say loaded, I mean this thing is loaded to the gills. Between the horsepower that this engine's putting out, it has a slipper clutch, it has launch control, it has anti-wheelie mode, it has race, touring, rain. It is all through this dash. We haven't even touched the dash yet to be able to go through all of the settings here. But of course, it's got the 6-axis IMU. It has corner sensitive ABS, corner sensitive traction control. Yeah, this motorcycle is loaded to the gills. So I believe new, this motorcycle retails for about $20,000, $21,000. Currently sitting on the lot, I think they have this thing listed for like $13,000 or $14,000. And it only has 2,400 miles on it. And what I like about KTM, and of course they've gone through a big reorganization over the past year or so, being bought through their bankruptcy and everything else. What I love about KTM is that they really just go all out with their motorcycles. They safety is number one for them, but fun is right there next to it. So I love the fact that you get premium materials on this motorcycle. I mean, really premium materials. It feels premium. You've got this engine that is just a tractor in terms of torque. It has so much torque right out of the bottom. I mean, just that low end torque that you look for. You're not waiting for anything. And then not only that, what also makes this bike really interesting, we're talking Brembo monoblock calipers. I think 320 millimeter discs in the front, 240 millimeter disc in the rear, 190 rear end tire, and this thing just rips. Oh, this bike sounds so gnarly. It sounds so good, so good. And the braking on it is fantastic. I am impressed. I think the thing that has surprised me so far, just on this initial test ride here, is the clutch engagement. So this does have a hydraulic clutch, very, very smooth. The suspension definitely is tighter, so they're qualifying this bike as a sport touring motorcycle, and it definitely puts the sport in the touring. This thing it's basically the Super Duke, but with a windscreen and saddlebags. And no joke, like, this thing has saddlebags. What I also like about it is that the way KTM designed this, they said, hey, we're going to build a touring motorcycle, one where you can actually have a seat big enough for your passenger and still be able to have your saddlebags on the side. This bike is insane. Almost 180 horsepower out of a motorcycle like this, that's just bonkers fast. I mean, bonkers. And the fact that you can get all of this motorcycle, get decent fuel economy, and still be able to have a passenger on your back with a seat that is relatively comfortable for them, and you get side storage, absolutely insane. Unlike other motorcycles where they take sport bikes and try to make them into naked bikes and then possibly a sport touring bike, KTM took one of their most crazed bikes out there, which is the Super Duke, and literally made it a more touring friendly motorcycle. And I gotta say, they're doing it. This thing is insane. Suspension on this bike is awesome. It's definitely tight, so you know that you're on it, but and this is just for the setting on the street, but even then it is fantastic. Very trackable, has zero issue, and you just want to roll on the throttle. As far as this screen goes, you are able to easily navigate around. So if I want to go down to this way, it is really cool that they allow you to kind of go through the system. You also have your trip info in very easy to view ways. So you have your trip, average speed, average time ridden, as well as your consumption. So then as we go further, we have our ride mode. So then within this, I have motorcycle, I can go into street mode, I can go into sport mode, or I can go into whatever I want, but it requires me to close the throttle, and then it immediately moves it over into the sport mode. So again, depending on what you want to do, so let's say sport, close throttle, I close the throttle, and then it puts it in sport. It's really that easy. Additionally, we have ABS mode. So with ABS mode, I'm able to adjust ABS mode. So depending on what I want within ABS mode, it's all there. And then you also have traction control. So we're going to keep traction control on because I think that that's important. And the back button is right here. Go back here. Turn signals are auto canceling as well. They cancel after X amount of time, so I'm not even going to touch it. I just want to see what it does. So after X, I think it's either 10 seconds or a certain number of feet, it automatically turns it off, which is really nice. That's very convenient. And then let's talk about the suspension. So again, you're able to adjust all the suspension because this bike has a semi-active suspension. You can adjust all of this on the fly, which is so convenient. And then if I also wanted to, I can raise up my windscreen. I'm getting a little bit of wind now in my, I'm getting a little bit of wind in my helmet, so I'm able to raise the windscreen, makes it a lot nicer. And then again, heated grips come factory on this bike, so I can literally just turn them on. Now, considering it's 91 degrees outside and it feels like probably hotter even than that, we're not going to mess with that. But this is such an easy to use system. It's very, very easy, which I am a big fan of. And then we also have cruise control. You also have your high beam button right here, so I can either flip that or I push it outward and it turns on the high beam. Now this bike also does have the Aero exhaust. I think it's just an Aero slip-on, but man, it sounds great with this twin. It just sounds fantastic. Nice little pop. It's so funny because you feel like you're riding a sport bike, and then you look back and you're like, oh yeah, this thing's got bags on the backside. Like, you kind of forget about that. It's funny how that is. Turn-in's pretty good on this. I still am interested about these Continental tires. I don't really know if they're my favorite, just the way that the tire turns in. And I've read some online reviews about that tire too, and other people I think kind of feel the same, so I just don't know if it's just a super stable tire or whatnot. But when you're at speed, I mean, here I am doing 55, 56 miles an hour, and you can just, this engine is just so easy to it just purrs. It's just so nice. You know it's there and you hear it, but it's not a loud exhaust. Like, I mean, if I were to really get on it, I'm sure I'd hear it. But overall, wind noise and everything else is actually really good. This bike has so much technology packed into it though as well, where it even has a supermoto mode. So you can have ABS attached to your front wheel, still working on the front wheel, but then disabled on the rear wheel. Speaking of wheels on this bike also has CAD designed wheels, all with the intention of saving as much weight as possible. So not only do you have a touring motorcycle with the heart of a straight hooligan bike, but then you also have the fact that they're putting this much technology and this much thought into making sure that the bike is very light, which is really nice. The dash even has turn-by-turn navigation capability, which is so cool. And then in addition, you got a lot of adjustability. So you get adjustability both on the handlebars, on the rear sets. You get adjustability in so many different areas, and it's all designed to be making it as comfortable as possible for you, the rider, and it's designed to fit riders of many different shapes and sizes, which is what makes this so cool. But I gotta say, I am impressed. This is a great motorcycle. It really is a smooth riding bike. Love the sound of this engine. This engine has personality. And that's the thing about motorcycles, right? You want a motorcycle that makes you laugh, that makes you smile, that makes you like, man, I love riding this thing, and this is just a blast to ride. Like, that's what it's all about. What's the point in owning a motorcycle if you're not having fun riding it? This thing is truly a hooligan bike in touring form, which I didn't think is even possible to truly do. But the way that they've laid this motorcycle out is very, very comfortable. Oh, I love the sound of this thing. This thing sounds so good. And that is the ride. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. Thank you for RiderMarket Daytona for being able to lend me this motorcycle for a little while. I gotta say, this one was a fun ride. Overall, fantastic bike. I can totally see why the hype is on this bike. Between it, it's basically a Super Duke with a windscreen, and it is just a phenomenal motorcycle. So definitely get your hands on one of these bikes if you're open to it, if you like this kind of style. You got the saddlebags, very easy to use as well. So you just push down, you can see here. Look how easy that is. Fantastic motorcycle. I really have enjoyed riding this bike. So big thank you for following along again. Like and subscribe if you can. I would greatly appreciate it. It goes a very, very long way. And it definitely helps me talk to my wife and tell her, hey, I'm not crazy. People actually like this kind of content. So thank you though for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.